pretty much anyone who comes to Vilnius will probably find themselves here. This is the main Cathedral Square, and this is obviously the main cathedral. It was built on the site of some old pagan monument, apparently. You have to talk to the right hippies to find out all the detailed information. And behind the cathedral there is a hill where Vilnius was actually founded. So this really is the centre, the heartbeat of the city. And from here you can head in one direction down a sort of modern shopping avenue and in another direction into the old town. And I think we'll go into the old town because it's possibly a little bit more interesting than looking at, shoe shops and restaurants. But before we do, this is interesting in itself. This is called Stebuklas, or the miracle stone. The story is that on this point, right here, was one end of a chain of human people that stretched all the way from here to Tallinn in Estonia. And this was in protest at Soviet occupation. So this stone now marks the spot where there was one end of that human chain. And the story or the legend is that you can stand on the stone, make a wish, but don't tell anyone what it is, and then turn around and maybe your wish will become true. In the square here, if you just have a look over here, you'll see there's some red marks, and these actually mark the points where the walls of an old palace used to be. So these red stones are literally where the walls were, and over here they're reconstructing a part of the palace. So it's not quite finished yet. We can't go in there. In fact, nobody can go in there unless you've got a hard hat. But it should be finished pretty soon, so I don't know, maybe next summer. But you never can tell in Lithuania. We're on the main tourist street here. It's lots of cafes, lots of restaurants, lots of places to have a nice cup of tea. This is the town hall. In the olden times, it's the sort of place where there used to be a market and people would come with their animals and potatoes and whatever and sell and trade and so on. It's recently been renovated and this fountain is completely new. It's the first summer it's been opened, so everyone's very happy about that. So much so that someone decided to fill it up with soap a few days after it opened. This is one of my favourite places in Vilnius, or one of the first places I can remember visiting or discovering. And that's the great thing about Vilnius. You can just walk around and discover old, decrepit, but interesting places like this. This church, obviously at one time it would have been used to assist people to communicate with God, but now it's basically used to assist people to communicate with their mobile phones. If you have a look right up the top, it's basically now a mobile phone antenna. One of the tricks, or one of the things you need to remember when you're visiting Vilnius, is to explore courtyards. They really are fascinating places, and a lot of them are actually a little bit hidden, like this one. This is the narrowest passage I've ever been in. It's crazy. Like, there's a door here, somebody's front door. This is their post box. With a view like that, church spires on the horizon, it wouldn't be hard to imagine that we'd be in one of the prime districts, one of the top areas of Vilnius. But if you look around here, it's actually just an old, somewhat decrepit courtyard. And of course you have to be quiet and respectful of the people who live here, but it's just a pleasure to come in and to feel the real life of Vilnius in these quiet, tucked away places. This is the entrance to another courtyard. What's cool about this one is that behind you, just over there, is one of the most popular tourist streets, if you like. And then you come through this sort of tunnel, and people who aren't short like myself would have to duck their heads to get through here. And it's like discovering a different world.